Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's December 14th, 2023. I'm in my office, and yesterday Tesla announced the release of another video giving an update of Optimus Bot, which is their artificial intelligence robot that they have been developing for just over a year. So at Artificial Intelligence Day, one of those educational events and recruiting events that Tesla puts on at least once a year, they introduced the concept that Tesla would be merging and creating, both utilizing artificial intelligence and robotics, create this Optimus Bot in a humanoid conformation, and having the skills and the abilities to learn from visually watching people do things and be able to do those functions. And they've really come a long way since September of 2022, just over a year ago. And so I'm at the official Tesla website, and so if you just search Google official Tesla website and just type in under the search engine under the Tesla website Optimus, and it'll bring up a couple of videos, and I'm going to share my thoughts as we play one right now. So this is about 6 months ago. So this is Optimus, I'm going to call it Gen 1 of the Optimus robotics, and you can see Cybertrucks in the background, and you can see these the first generation of these robots, and they've really recruited a tremendous team of engineers that can go ahead and help develop this. Now, if you look, you'll see. And it's using visual scanning system to see where it is in space and how it's going to be doing things. And they had to use some techniques to, with basically a person using sensors to go ahead and do it. Watch the guy in the background. He gets super excited when Tesla, when Optimus was able to accomplish some of these small tasks. So increasing complexity, developing, there really weren't the off-the-shelf actuators that Tesla had. Excuse me one second, I'm going to just see if I can go back for a second here, and apologize for this. So that was the first generation about 6 months ago that Tesla bought. About 2 months ago, Tesla released this video, and this is pretty cool. Now there's still the structural part of it. It's very strong. They're really developing their actuators, their linear actuators. All of these they had to design themselves. They really were trying it without sensors at first to go ahead and do some of the things like moving objects and all. And it did very, very well, but they went ahead and in the next generation, you'll see that they've got some very impressive sensors that they're using on the fingertips. You'll also notice all of the cabling that's being reduced a lot on the next phase. So each time that there's a renovation, there's big changes as far as the articulation of the joints, the range of motion of the various joints, the ability for it to self-correct if something gets knocked over or whatever. So the robot is learning through the process. And to be able to do this good at balancing, I think is really, really impressive. But if you look at the body form, it's still big, bulky, wouldn't really work very well in many environments with the cables attaching and all. So that could be a bit of a hassle. I'm going to go back now again, and we'll go up to the latest. This is the video that I was just talking about a moment ago, and let me see if I can get my screen set here. So this is the second. All right, so there we are with Bumblebee, the very first one. So that's September of 2022. They use off-the-shelf parts and all to try and create this crude object, and they were able to get it to walk. But when they introduced it on video, this one really, they were just showing it as a first crude architecture beforehand. So it looks nothing like the Optimus bot that we'll see in a few seconds. Then you can see they started designing and building. So this is Gen 1, the video that we just saw a couple of moments ago. Lots of refinement and reduction in the mass of it. The Tesla engineers created their own linear actuators, their own motors, their own sensors, and it had really gone a long way over just a several month period. I thought that was really, really important. So this is March 2023, just 9 months ago. And now here we are with big improvements. You can see the outside of the robot. It looks much more refined. You won't see the big cabling around. You're going to see at the joints much more refined areas. You can see smaller linear actuators, and they're super powerful. They can pick up a grand piano, just any one of these actuators. So there's a video of that as well. I'm going to spare you from all the videos. But there's so many amazing things going on. And this one, I'm starting to think it's actually branded now with Tesla. And so that makes me think that they're getting close to not a release candidate, but one that they're going to go ahead and start using in their factories to do different jobs. The other thing is, you see the outline, that's looks like an LED light around the head. And in the previous robots, the head didn't have motion. It didn't have the neck range of motion at all. And now this one does have it. So this is it. You notice the lighting. You look, there's no cables sticking out. Just much more refined, looking more like a finished robot. Now there are a couple places where it looks like some cables are there at this point, but the articulation of the joints, the motion of the fingers and all, the fingers are 2 digits as opposed to 3 digits on our fingers, 2 digits for the thumbs. You'll see that they have sensors. I'm not sure if they're probably pressure sensors. They may have temperature sensors, just like we have as well. And just watch the range of motion as we go ahead with this video. Pretty darn impressive. You see the head? I think having the additional range of motion of the head and neck will allow the robot to be able to, when it hears something or sees something, it can go in and focus on it and still not have to move its whole body at a time, because this is going to be working around people and around big heavy equipment, so you don't want it getting hung up or bumping into things. This is all pretty darn impressive. All the sensors and actuators. So 2 degrees of freedom, actuated neck. So that's being able to go like this and go like this. So degrees of freedom are a term that are being used with the range of motion of various joints. The ability of this shows 30% walk speed boost. I'm not sure what that is, but I wish I had the ability to. But as you can see, when it lands its feet, it lands heel and then to toe and then pushes off with the toe. I don't know that there's a joint where the toe is attached to the foot. It doesn't mean that there's an actuator there. If they did put an actuator there, they could probably make it jump like a cat. But you can see these actuators here operating the heel. They're really refined. I wonder if this is 48 volt, just like the new Cybertruck, using basically Ethernet cable to go ahead and run the cabling to the motors. That's amazing if they've already accomplished all of that. Human foot geometry. They've reduced the weight of Optimus, the second generation, by 10 kilograms. 22 pounds. That's really, really impressive. The balance and body control, absolutely amazing. I have difficulties doing some of these things. Watching the fingers. 11 degrees of freedom with their brand new hands. So that's really amazing. Again, it's the range of motion, the ability for the fingers to do what they're doing. Really important to have that dexterity and ability to manipulate and move. And as you'll watch how the wrists actually can work together like our wrists do as well. Pretty impressive. So here we can see some of the sensing in the fingertips here, and they're lighting them up to display just how much pressure is being felt. Now, this tactile, it could be pressure and temperature. I don't know, but it's all things that they can continue to modify. Tesla's mode of operation is, reducing the number of parts and processes in all things that they build and create. And they know, like Elon says, you don't know that you're reducing enough until you have to add some things back in. So that's all a learning process. We want to reduce the weight. Sandy Munro always talks about engineers should be trying to lose 1 gram out of every fixture, every component, and nuts and bolts and motors and all. 1 gram a day, reducing it that much. And certainly reducing unnecessary parts, that reduces processes as well. Trying to refine things to the point where we get optimal performance and range of abilities with the minimum number of parts and processes. And this is all so impressive, watching these fingers. And watch those wrists move to the appropriate position, the sensors lighting up. Being able to pick up an egg and move it is pretty impressive. There we are with the Cybertrucks. Can't wait for my Cybertruck. And that's it. I just thought I'd make this video to share how far Tesla has come with the artificial intelligence, which has been demonstrated with the full self-driving systems, and we're just impressed. We don't have full self-driving on Thea's Model Y. We've got the just basically the autopilot. I'm sorry, it left my mind there for a moment. So we've got autopilot, which really, it's adaptive cruise control. It's using all its sensors. Now ours has ultrasound sensors, radar sensors, and visual. And Elon's trying to make everything go to just visual, and we'll see if we can do with just visual. Time will tell. And they're approaching Optimus's development as using predominantly visual sensors as well, using like what people use, using their vision to be able to see and do, and be able to place their hands in the appropriate positions, and using the visual learning, and using these massive amount of data that they're acquiring from their environment. And the sooner that they are able to get more and more of these robots working in factories, the sooner that they'll be able to come close to being able to release robots for you and me to do those tasks that we don't want to do. I'm so impressed with the articulation and the dexterity and the sensors and the digits, being able to pick up an egg, a raw egg in one hand, transfer it to another hand, and then place it precisely in a location. Again, this is all over just over a year in development. I'm pretty pumped about the next couple of years and what we're going to see. This might be the Rosie, where people actually have a usable robot at their own homes. These are going to be very expensive initially, but I'm looking forward to it, certainly. So just sharing a little bit of my excitement with you about the Tesla bot, the second generation. Pretty cool. So that's it for today's video. If you found it helpful in any ways, please leave a comment, share your thoughts, and stay safe and take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.